Epistrophe. What is epistrophe? Epistrophe is the repetition of a word or sequence of words at the end of clauses. Think about it this way. Epistrophe is the repetition of a word or sequence of words at the end of each sentence or phrase. For example, for no government is better than the men who compose it, and I want the best, and we need the best, and we deserve the best. The repeated sequence of words here is the best. See that? It comes at the end of each clause. Right before the comma is how we can tell. Another example. This nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. The repeated sequence of words is the people. And right there, it comes at the end of each clause. What is the process for identifying epistrophe? Well, step one, we have to look for a repetitive word or set of words. But we can't stop there. Because just because there is a repetitive word or set of words does not mean it's an epistrophe. There are other types of repetition. Rather, step two, we must make sure that it comes at the end of a sentence or clause. And we can tell that by it comes right before the period or right before the comma. In step 3, we pick out each instance that word or set of words is repeated in the same exact way over and over again. And at that point, we have identified the epistrophe, if there is one, in a text or speech. Now, what are the functions of epistrophe? Why do people use epistrophes? There are several reasons. I'll give you the most common ones here. Number one, it beautifies a speech or text. It adds beauty to a speech or text. Repetition causes a person to feel that a text or speech is beautiful. There's a poetic element in there. 2, it creates an emotional appeal or response. They keep hearing the same word. It's coming at the end and maybe asking a person to take an action or to think in a specific way. And it also strengthens arguments. If we have a specific point we want people to understand or be convinced of, and we keep repeating our point after giving evidence each time, so we give evidence and repeat our point, give evidence again, repeat the point, repeat the conclusion, that strengthens the arguments. It delivers it straight to home with the listener or the reader. So these are the functions for epistrophe. It also creates a rhythm and even a rhyme, because a rhyme doesn't have to be a different word. It can be the same word at the end over and over again. And that helps in remembering. So if we want to create a rhythm, so we're writing a poem or a song or something nice, we can add epistrophe. If we want people to remember what we're saying, we can use the epistrophe, and it'll help the reader or the listener remember. And that's especially important if you're using the epistrophe for arguments. Example number 3. Don't you ever talk about my friends. You don't know any of my friends. You don't look at any of my friends. And you certainly wouldn't condescend to speak to any of my friends. This is from The Breakfast Club. John Bender gives this short speech. And the repetitive phrase is, my friends. See? It comes at the end of each sentence. And this one here is creating an emotional appeal. He's taking some type of defense, loyalty, a position of loyalty with his friends, and he's using it for emotional appeal. Example number 4. To him who alone does great wonders, for his mercy endures forever. To him who by wisdom made the heavens, for his mercy endures forever. To him who laid out the earth above the waters, for his mercy endures forever. This is from the Psalms, meaning it's very ancient as well, 3,000 years old. And it uses epistrophe. The repetitive phrase is, "For his mercy endures forever." And it's right there. It also works as a rhyme. Same exact sequence of words, but it rhymes. So it creates a poetic effect. And indeed, the Psalms are poetry. Trivia. Well, epistrophe is very ancient. I mean, we just saw an example from the Bible, 3,000 years old. It's very ancient in its usage in literature. It is a Greek word which means return. Why? Because the repeated word returns at the end of the following clauses or sentences. Here's the last example. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. This is from Paul the Apostle in 1 Corinthians 13:11 from the Bible as well. But this is a bit more recent than the Psalms. It's only about 2,000 years old. So the repetitive sequence of words at the end is a child. That's the epistrophe. But some of you may notice, wait a second, it also has I. I, yes, is a repetition. You are right. I is a repetition. But it is not an epistrophe because it comes at the beginning of the clauses. And that's called anaphora. Anaphora is the opposite of epistrophe. It's a repetitive word or sequence of words at the beginning as opposed to the end of the sentence. If both are used together in sentences, in a passage, then that's called simplicity. And that's what we have here. If you are interested more in anaphora and simplicity, you can click on the following videos and you will learn more about them there. Thanks for watching. Until next time.